need y'all to catch a vibe on this right
It's
here.
like the dust
Yeah.
that hides the glow of a rose. But what good am I?
Alright, what's up, y'all? Conceited vs Cruger just dropped from the Checkpoint event in England on Don't Flop. Watched it, broke it down. You know what I'm saying? I'm here to give my breakdown to you, so let's do it. Alright, Conceited and Kruger decided to let Kruger go first, so Kruger's first starts off talking about Conceited's height. Conceited's, you're so short, it's like conceited. When conceited, his feet dangle. I mean, I thought that was pretty funny. He's so dumb, he's sticking his phone charger in the wall even though the plugs are different. Conceited laughed at that line a lot, which makes me kind of think that he actually did that, which kind of makes it a little bit more funny. Your math off a second round was shoddy short. That shit was pretty dope. I could probably count 12 times he done wordplay about shelves, and when he says he'll bucket, it doesn't go down well. I thought that shit was pretty dope. Overall, Kruger's first round was pretty solid. He had a good mix of, jokes and bars, and I think it played over pretty well with the crowd. Alright, so it was Conceited's first round. After a bitch fuck him, she don't know whether to call herself a pedophile or a Kruger. That was pretty funny because Conceited was spending some time talking about how Kruger looks really young, but also looks really old, or actually is really old. He had a lot of those lines, almost too many, but that one was pretty funny. You'll get shot looking for a dream like Martin Luther, because everyone knows Kruger's real name is Freddie. No sweater, I'm coming back for Cruz neck. Slow it down, no sweater, I'm coming back for Cruz next. I thought that shit was pretty dope. Sometimes I don't really like a lot of Conceited slow it downs, but I thought that shit was pretty dope. Giving me the racket over the net, you're gonna lose major like Andy Murray. I thought that line was slept on. I don't know if people didn't get it or people just don't watch tennis or something, but I thought that line was pretty dope. Overall his first round was solid as well. The first round is really tough to call. I mean, it's just about even. You can make cases for either Conceited or Kruger, and you wouldn't be wrong for choosing either one of those. So I almost want to call this one a tie. I'll break down the second and third rounds and come back to the that first and see if it needs to be judged. But right now I'm calling it a draw for right now. Alright, so it's Kruger's second round now. Dope round. It's like Temple Run. One flick of his finger will make this little man jump. That was pretty dope. A crew that came from the internet, that ain't the right click to copy. That was dope because he was talking about how Conceited and Fox met through text battling and whatnot, and that's how the whole SONS crew got started. That's something that Sons hasn't touched, like tan lines. Thought that shit was pretty dope. They be talking about AK-46s and Mac-9s. Not gonna lie, when I heard that line, I laughed pretty hard. That shit was funny. You should come out the closet and your clothing should stay in it. That was funny as well, man. Kruger's second round was really strong. I mean, it could be my favorite Kruger round of all time. Everything he was spitting in that second round was just hitting. It was a pretty great round two. Alright, time for Conceited's second round. As soon as we crossed, she got nailed. That's something that Kruger should fix. That was dope. Just kicking it is something Freddie I do. I thought that was alright. Freddie I do a soccer player, I think that's part of Conceited trying to relate to England, but by saying some soccer flips and names, shit like that. My whole arsenal, soccer, England. My whole arsenal will start kicking like a soccer team. I thought that was alright. And then he tells the crowd that it's called soccer, not football. And then the crowd starts to boom. And they boo him, and then he says it again, and they boo him some more. I don't get that. The first time, you know, you could let that one slip, and then it just, why would he want him to keep on booing? Even though he was laughing. I mean, they weren't really booing him. It was more of like a, you know, playful boo. That sounds fucking weird, playful boo. But at the end of that, before he starts rapping again, he says, "Okay, it's football," and then gets a huge reaction, just playing to the crowd and shit. And he, you know, he copies one of Kruger's rhyme schemes that he used against Sharon when they battled at World Domination 2. I thought that worked pretty well. It was alright, like, you're just mad New York doesn't have one. And then, because he was like, I ain't jealous of that one. You know, overall, Conceited second round was solid, but I think Kruger's second round was just too good. It was powerful for, you know, Conceited second to overcome it. So I had to give Kruger that second round. Alright, in time for the final round of the battle. Kruger, when, you know, Kruger was went first. So Kruger's third. It's like the Teletubbies, because the face of the Suns is a baby. That shit was pretty dope. You use guns as a crutch like the bitch from Planet Terror. That one got me, I'm not gonna lie. I had to think about that for a second, and I realized the bitch on the poster with the leg. You know, I never seen the movie, but I saw the poster, and one of her legs was a fucking gun or whatever. I don't know what kind of gun it was. But because I didn't watch the movie, and she had to, you know, it just had a fucking gun as a leg, and that shit was pretty dope. That shit was really dope, actually. And Kruger touched on the fact that Conceit is not from Brooklyn. He's from Miami, so he said the only son you could call Brooklyn's is David Beckham's, because David Beckham has a son named Brooklyn. That was dope. Overall, man, his third round was pretty good, but it wasn't on par with his first, and it wasn't really close to his second. It was good though, but I thought he left the door wide open for Conceited to come in and take that third. All right, and Conceited's third round, and you know, like I said, I thought, you know, Kruger left the door open for Conceited to come and take it, and then Conceited choked. He tried to freestyle. He spit some whack, you know, bars, try to make some flips happen there, but it wasn't working. And then he tried to say that he fake choked, but I'm not buying that. It was a good 30 seconds, probably a little bit longer than that. Even told the crowd he was really choking, but then he said, "Oh, I fake choked." Like, psych, you know, the same thing that Charlie Clips would do. And Charlie Clips was right behind him when he was doing it. I'm not buying the fake choke thing, man. You know. But after he did remember his bars, he got back on track and he was actually spitting really good shit. Like, if he didn't choke, he probably would have won this third. Like, you know what time it is when hours ring, like Big Ben. I'll feed him the biscuit to see him die just in time. Slow it down. I'll feed him the biscuit to see him die just in time. His third round was strong. It was, but he choked and he tried to play it off, and it just wasn't working. So I have to give Kruger that third round. It's just when someone chokes, you have to give, you know, the other person the round by default. You know, I just don't see any point in doing a fake choke. You know, what do you gain out of that? You know, Charlie Clips has done that one time, and then I think he might have choked and covered it up by doing that again. I think he might have done it 2 or 3 times, really, to be honest with you. But if it was a fake, even if it was a fake choke, let's say it was, he loses just for doing it, because he gained nothing from that. It was just dumb for him to fake choke, you know? I mean, when you really choke, you know, you're gonna say that shit that you cover it up. I understand that, but I'm pretty sure it was a real choke. Anyway, though, man, I gave, you know, Kruger the last 2 rounds. The second one on merit, the third one by default. The first round could go either way. If you gave it to Conceited, I wouldn't say anything. If you gave it to Kruger, I couldn't say anything then either. So I gave this one to Kruger. He won 2 rounds for sure. The third round actually was the first round, which I couldn't call. Is up for a lot of debate. I don't think anyone could really ever decide a winner to that first round. I think it's so close. But it was a pretty great battle, man. I thought it was gonna be classic. It still kind of was classic if you don't, you know, put in, you know, Conceited's choke. But it was a really good battle. Shout out to Don't Flop for that battle. I never would have thought of Conceited vs Cruger, and I definitely never thought I would be saying, you know, sitting here on camera, uploading this to YouTube, saying that Kruger beat Conceited. But I think, you know, that's what happened, and I don't think I stand by that statement that Kruger beat Conceited. Maybe we need to see more battles against Kruger versus, you know, URL opponents. You know, Kruger versus B Magic next or some shit. Who knows, right? But it was a dope battle. Shout out to Don't Flop. You know, that's all I got. You know, follow me on Twitter at NickTile. There'll be links somewhere over here. If you want, not links, but just fucking, you know, you can see where it is, and, you know, search Twitter and follow me if you want to. I'll follow back most likely if you say what's up and whatnot. You know, add me on Facebook, NickTile. Like, dislike, you know, watch the battle. Tell me what your thoughts were on the battle. If you thought Conceited won, if you thought, you know, Kruger won. I thought it was a dope battle though. So Kruger beats Conceited rounds 2 and 3. First one up for debate. So, you know, have a good
Bank, what you think?
Shit is real niggas know how I feel.
That's your arm bright and your car nice, you ain't got skills. Who buzzing? That's nothing, they loud flies. I swat them out, I'm a slaughterhouse full of cowhide. You put nothing in a box with biscuits and hot fries. Your son gon' see chicken when he look in his Popeyes. This shit is suicide being